Namaste, guys. ChristianRLong, Life Enhancement Consultant, giving you a big and beautiful shout out on this Saturday evening. It is about... Oh, I didn't hit the button on that one. It's about 7:20 p.m. Mountain Time here in Denver, Colorado. We're jumping on, doing a live stream this Saturday evening. Kim, Namaste. Always good to have you on. Zach, Namaste. I owe you a phone call, homeboy. My apologies. I've been caught up with some stuff this week, even into the evening, surprisingly enough. But we will touch base. So, I want to jump on. You guys know we talk about energy healing, meditation, practical spirituality on these live streams. And I thought of a funny topic from one of my favorite TV shows of all time. You might have heard of it. It's All Good Brudda. It's called Parks and Rec. Now, if you haven't seen Parks and Rec, pick any episode from any season, watch it, you will laugh hysterically. It's super, super funny. It's on Netflix. You know, all the seasons, all the episodes are on Netflix. And one of my favorite episodes is, I believe it's called The Fight, if I remember correctly, The Fight. And the fight, oddly enough, is the smallest part of the whole episode. The bigger part of the episode is one of the workers for the government became a part owner of a nightclub, and then he started to sell his own homemade alcohol at this nightclub. So all the people that worked with him at his government job all went to this nightclub together to promote his homemade alcohol to make him more, Leanne, Namaste, to make him more, recognized within the community, to make him more money, to bring more fame to the club. And so everyone's drinking this, this alcohol called snake juice. And basically it's like super, super concentrated alcohol, like 100 proof, and people are just getting completely and utterly bombed drinking this stuff, right? And so there's a couple, Tracy, I'm gonna say there's a couple on the show called what is his name? Andy and April. Andy and April. So Andy is like the man child, and April is like the refined goth girl that doesn't like anybody. So they come together, they start dating, they eventually get they eventually get married on the show. But this one particular episode, they get the invite to go to Tom's club and to promote his alcohol, and April doesn't want to do it, right? Because April doesn't want to socialize with anyone. She doesn't want to mix it up with anyone. She's very very withdrawn, very introverted, and she only gives her love and affection to Andy, right, her boyfriend. But Andy, being the man child and always looking to mix it up and always looking to support his friends, he talks April into going if he goes, all right, how about this? How about we pretend to be other people? Like a fantasy role-playing, right? So he ends up turning into an FBI agent by the name of Burke Macklin. You got to watch the episode. It's ridiculous. It's one of their most well-known episodes in Parks and Rec. And then she is a widower, a very, very wealthy widower who basically stole some rubies or gems or whatever, right? So he's the FBI agent tracking her down at the club. She's playing a cat and mouse game, and that's kind of the episode, right, of them interacting with one another. But what I love so much about that episode, Bianca, did I say it right? Bianca? Am I saying it right? Namaste, welcome to the stream. What I liked most about that dynamic between them as a couple is the playfulness and the creativity of role-playing. So my question to you guys is, have you ever met or do you know of friends, couples who do those kinds of things where one person pretends to be one persona, the other person pretends to be a completely different or contradictory, Alice Namaste, persona, and then they meet each other at a certain spot in town, at a movie theater, at a bar, at a yoga studio, at a Whole Foods, at some location around town, and pretend to be different people meeting each other for the first time. Do you know of any couples that do that? Because I think that's amazing. I actually dated somebody many years ago, and we always talked about it, which is super weird that we never did it, because we're both extroverted people, we're both playful, we're both goofy, we're both fun, we relatively have, no inhibitions when we were out in public. Jillian, namaste. So it would have been funny if we actually created that opportunity. We're both creative, right? We can think on our feet really fast. We can make up stories. She's a much better liar than I am. So it would have been funny to do that. But I've always wanted to, A, do that, and then B, meet other people or other couples who do that. Lily, namaste. Thanks for all your sharings and likes and posts and retweets. And I appreciate the social media support. So do you guys know of any couples that actually do that? If you do, I would love for you to message them on this stream, like tag them on this stream so I can meet up with them, obviously online, or if they're in the Denver area, I can meet up with them in Denver. Because you see these couples, you have both sides of the coin, right? You have these couples that have been married for 50 years and they are still deeply, madly in love with one another after 50 years. And the question is, well, what was your secret? How did you guys do it? And a lot of it deals with, understanding, listening to the other person, supporting the other person, forgiving and forgetting, things like that. And then there's also, if you look, there's a level of playfulness and joyfulness and fun that these older couples use to constantly rejuvenate and regenerate their relationship with one another. Then you have couples that they've been married for like 3 years and they look like they've been married for 60 years. And you're like, what's going on? Like the excitement is gone, the adventure is gone, the playfulness is gone, it's almost like, what is the point of this couple being together, right? And that's not just with married couples, but couples that started dating. But there's this weird tendency that we have as human beings that we want to stay in things that are comfortable and or predictable and or certain. So even though the relationship we're in is unfulfilling, right? We're not adding much to the relationship. The other person's not adding much to the relationship. But because it's known and you know what it's going to look like day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, they stay in it. So Zach is saying they lost the spark. Yeah. And that spark, interestingly enough, the sex chakra, Ted, namaste, good to have you on. The sex chakra, which is where the sex organs are located, that chakra deals with charisma. So people that are charismatic and then can like draw you in, those people have big, strong sex chakras. So think of like a politician, a comedian, a celebrity, a performer, a singer, something like that. People that when they're doing what they're doing, you're magnetized and drawn into them. That's a function of the sex chakra. Could also be a function of the heart chakra as well, because the heart chakra is magnetic. But people that are charismatic, that have that spark, have that twinkle in their eyes, a lot of that comes from sex energy and Shakti or power. So I can understand why we have that initially when we're with somebody. And Kim, namaste, there's a Christian author, Gary Chapman. He wrote a book many, many years ago. He's been married forever, so he's a product of his product, right? Called The 5 Love Languages. Now, it's a very, 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 very simplified way of looking at people and looking at how we interact and relate to other people in relationships and intimate relationships. But in that, he talks about the 5 love languages and the 5 ways that we communicate and fill each other's emotional cups up. So the 5 love languages are time, so spending time with somebody, words of affirmation, saying, I love you, you're beautiful, you're amazing, you're handsome, right? What else? Gifts. So buying somebody a car, buying somebody groceries, buying somebody a trip to go somewhere, buying somebody jewelry. So gifts, acts of service, doing something for another person, running errands, doing the laundry, going grocery shopping, right? Rubbing the person's feet, acts of service. And then lastly is physical touch. So physical touch. So that would be back massages. That would be hugging, kissing, sex, anything that deals with physical bodies touching each other. Devolved for sure. So Zach says, my heart chakra has devolved for sure. There's a level of truth to that. How many people have been hurt How many people have been hurt in an intimate relationship, and then what did they do? In order to not get hurt again, they do what? They shield energetically, and they do this on a subconscious level, but if you look at it energetically, they shield and protect their heart chakra, so the heart chakra doesn't expand as easily as it used to, so they become hardened energetically in that area, right? So there's like a wound, the wound hurts, they don't want to deal with that wound, so they energetically cover that wound up so they don't feel it again. But as my teacher, Grandmaster Chogo Koksui, says, keep on living and keep on loving, right? Keep on living and keep on loving. So keep your heart open. Yes, we have our heart open. There's a level of vulnerability. There's a level of hypersensitivity. There's a level of feeling our pain and the pains of other people, especially when they hurt us. But it's okay. We heal ourselves, we keep our heart open, and we continue to move forward. Because if not, how do we live the rest of our lives? We lived with a underactivated heart chakra. So we don't feel as much love, much sweetness, as much tenderness, as much joy, as much inner peace, as much fulfillment. So keep the heart open even when we've been hurt or traumatized by other people. That's a whole other conversation in and of itself. We're talking about the spark, right? The energetic spark of what pulls us in. It's interesting, as I understand it from one of the masters in pranic healing, sex energy is sticky. So isn't it funny that people that are charismatic do what? They draw you in. Their energy shoots out in some way, shape, or form. It attaches to your energy body and it pulls them into you. Another way of doing that is having a big, super expanded heart chakra, which is magnetic as well. It pulls people in, but it pulls them in more gently. So they're being attracted by love versus being attracted by charisma or sexual energy. Does that make sense? So I just have always been fascinated with people and couples that keep that spark going, that keep the creative juices flowing, that are always looking for different ways to stimulate one another sexually, emotionally, lower emotions, higher emotions, and mentally, right? You don't see that very, very often. Why? Because it requires a level of awareness, understanding, and will, right? You have to will yourself. So creativity, right? Creativity, being creative, creating something is a function of intelligence, i.e., what am I going to create, right? And then it's a function of will to take it from nothing into something, from the unmanifest to the manifest, from the immaterial to the material. That takes willpower. So if you want to have a loving, fun, joyful, playful relationship that lasts not just for the honeymoon phase, right, but for decades, you have to use willpower. So you have to be creative. You have to have willpower to manifest that creativity, and then you also have to have love connected to it, right? You want to have love energy interacting and mixing with the other energies that you're doing, because love is the glue that keeps things together. If there's no love, you have a very difficult relationship. So one of the masters in pranic healing said many years ago that when you have friction in a relationship, meaning you have opposing thoughts and opposing feelings from you and your partner, there's disagreements, there's disharmony, there's mild conflicts, you have friction. That friction builds up and becomes abrasive to you and the other person. So the solution and the ultimate lubricant for that friction is love. So when you deeply love somebody, you coat your thoughts and your feelings with love, and then the person's able to absorb and assimilate those energies much, much better. I mean, think about it this way. You can have somebody tell you the truth, and it can be accurate, but maybe not so loving and not so kind. So what do we have a tendency to do? We reject it. We push the truth away. We don't want to hear any more. because the person that is telling us the truth most likely is coming from a very severe, sharp place that lacks heart energy, that lacks love. Now, if you have love and compassion and understanding and sweetness when you're communicating something to somebody else, what are you doing? You're coating it with love. So it's recommended that if you have a difficult message to communicate to another person, a loved one, intimate partner, a friend, family member, a coworker, an employee, whomever, it's difficult news, but it needs to be said, then you be aware of your heart when you communicate. So when you're talking to that person, the heart chakra is expanded, it's activated, and as you're speaking, your words are being coated with love. And as those words are being coated with love, the person is more open and receptive to the message. Because isn't that the whole purpose of communicating something to another person? It's to have them assimilate, understand, and act on the information that you gave them, right? But if you come from an aggressive, sharp, hurtful place when you're being honest with somebody, they're not even going to receive the message anyways. It's going to injure their energy body, and they're going to be leaking out energy, right? So it's not very kind to do that. So I've noticed over the past month of doing the streams, the streams that people are most interested in of the major areas of life, which is health, which is pretty important to people, money or career, pretty important to people, and then thirdly, relationships. And it seems like relationships is the most important thing that most people are focusing on in our streams. Like there's the most amount of engagement, people asking questions, people direct messaging me, people asking for topic requests around relationships. So it seemed to be a pretty big topic, which is understandable, right? Because we're always in relationships. We're always interacting and connecting with other people. And relationships can get messy, right? Relationships can get messy. So it's good to be clear with what you're trying to say, communicate. You're being creative, right? Higher creativity, throat chakra, and you're adding heart energy to what you're creating to add value to the person that you're most intimate with. But there are many factors as to why relationships don't work out. Many factors. It's usually never one thing as to why a relationship didn't work out. But energetically speaking, for those of you who are interested, people that can scan or feel energy, or people who can see energy, can typically tell a relationship is going to end before it's actually ended physically, because everything, without exception, happens first in the energy world before it ever materializes physically. So if the connection is not going so well between you and another person, it will have already manifested in the energy world before it manifests in the physical world. Does that make sense? What's up, low connection? Sorry guys, my connection is going in and out. If you lost me, my apologies, but it says it's still recording. So in essence, if you want to heal a relationship between you and an intimate partner, you have to scan or feel the cords between you and the person, and those cords have to be cleansed using pranic healing technology and methodology. And then you strengthen the right chords and you minimize, quote unquote, the wrong chords. It's not really a correct way of saying it, but certain chords need to be maximized, other chords need to be minimized. And if you do that over a period of time, you will notice the relationship, the love in the relationship will increase, the harmony in the relationship will increase, the understanding in the relationship will increase, the joy in the relationship will increase, the intimacy in the relationship will increase. But typically, one of my clients is a sex therapist. And she was sharing with me, how to put this. She basically gave me not the name, but she was telling me of a couple that she was counseling, right? Because we're keeping confidentiality between each other, right? So without knowing anything more than the energy of the couple, I was able to scan or feel the chords, connecting them, right? And I scanned and then felt the quality of the energy, and I was able to tell my client a great amount of information about her client based on the quality and quantity of the chords between the two of them. It's fascinating. So Kim has a question or comment. Let's see. So Kim says, so years of trauma and feeling let down by others has my heart chakra pretty shielded. So now when my partner messes up, I feel pretty let down and can be of kind of harsh when I express my feelings, desires. So what to do? Excellent question. It's funny because I actually had somebody on Instagram reach out to me in relationship to a post I did about seeing the divinity within your partner, seeing the light, love, and power aspect within your partner. And so I left her a message, and I think it clarified where she was coming from. A similar situation, right? So here's the thing. Most people have been injured, have experienced trauma, have been let down by other people, have been misunderstood, have been criticized, have been judged, have been psychically attacked or physically attacked, right? A lot of us have had pain, sorrow, and suffering in some moment of time in our lives, right? So there's an expression within pranic healing to see each and every person as a divine child of God. Well, when you see somebody as a divine child of God, you recognize that they are still in the process of growing, evolving, just like you would a physical child, right? We're all divine. We don't say we're divine adults of God. We say we're divine children of God because we come from God, right? So one of the things is having self-forgiveness, self-compassion, self-understanding, right? And then, Fernando, I'm going to say, then we can see our partner more accurately. Because when we can see ourselves accurately, we can then see other people accurately. Does that make sense? So if we go through the process of healing, right? We go from a place of trauma, then we go through a process of healing, and we understand where we came, like how we got the trauma, what that trauma did to us, how we overcame the trauma, and now we're on the other side of the trauma. Guess what we can now do? We can now look at another person, say our intimate partner, and go, now that I've been there and done that, I can now accurately see my partner of where they are in their journey. They're at the beginning of their journey, they're in the middle of their journey, they've made it over the hump, and now they've overcome that trauma, that pain, that what have you. So it's similar to someone who's an addict who goes through the process of recovery, then has been in recovery for 10 years, right? They can now look at a person who has had a similar addiction, alcohol, drugs, sex, whatever it is, and go, I can see why that person's suffering, and I have compassion, I have understanding, I have love, I have patience, I have tolerance for that other person, right? Why? Because we went through it and we have understanding, patience, tolerance for ourselves. But if we don't love ourselves, if we don't have patience towards ourselves, if we don't have tolerance towards ourselves, right? We don't have those things. What do we do to other people? Bam, we project it onto them. We don't have love for ourselves, so we can't have love for somebody else when they mess up. We don't have compassion for ourselves, so we can't have compassion for someone else when they mess up. We don't have understanding for ourselves, so we can't have understanding for someone else when they mess up. It constantly goes back to the self. Constantly. That's one of the biggest nuggets and takeaways that I can give you guys for today's stream. I know we started off with, have you ever seen couples that do creative role-playing with one another? Gita, namaste. To this point about we have an issue with our partner and we're like, okay, I've been hurt. I'm in a relationship that's causing me hurt. And my tendencies want to blame, right? Blame the other person. Have the other person be a source of my victimization. Not namaste, but we have to withdraw. we have to not fall into that pattern. We have to not see our partner as our source of pain, right? Because our partner is not the source of pain. Our partner, if we want to look at it from a higher viewpoint, is a reflection or mirror for what we have to work on, right? So if our partner is constantly making us angry, we might want to look at that. Now, what is the tendency that we do in our current modern day 2020 world of technology and social media? We go, this person's causing me pain. I'm going to disconnect from that person and I'll find somebody else. Guess what? That person causes us pain too, right? This relationship, there's a lot of anger and verbal abuse. Great. I'm going to leave this relationship and get involved in another relationship. And I also, oddly enough, have anger and verbal abuse. What is going on? Because the people in our lives are simply mirrors for the things that we have to work on. They're not the source of our pain. Because here's the other interesting thing. This may shock some of you. Others, this may come as no surprise whatsoever. But if your happiness, think about this. If your happiness is always into the hands of another person, how happy are you going to be in life? If your partner loves you, you're happy. If your partner doesn't love you, you're not happy. Well, you just gave over your happiness to another human being, right? And here's the funny thing. If we don't know how to make ourselves happy, how can we expect another person who also doesn't know how to make themselves happy, make somebody else happy? Hello? That's like high level, right? So it always goes back to the self. Now, keep in mind, if somebody is in a physically abusive relationship, am I saying, okay, well, stay in that relationship as long as possible to work out your karma, learn your lessons, the person's a mirror for your own physical abuse, blah, blah, blah. No, that's not at all what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you have to develop a level of awareness of what is happening. What is causing this pattern in your life to keep repeating itself, right? Awareness, as Grandmaster Choa Kok would say, without awareness, no inner transformation, right? So the corollary to that is with awareness comes inner transformation. So if you look at your life and you're like, wow, I keep repeating the same pattern over and over and over again with my partners, over and over and over again with my relationships, there must be a lack of awareness which is not allowing me to transform, right? There must be a lack of awareness that is not allowing me to transform internally. It's very, very important. So that's why being still is important. That's why having a daily meditation practice is so important. That's why getting regular energy healing is important. That's why getting regular coaching is important. Why is coaching important? Or why is therapy important? Because it gives the person understanding. It helps the person remove some of the blind spots that they have about seeing something clearly. We suffer because we lack awareness. Introduce awareness, the suffering is alleviated. Does that help, Kim? Does that give you a direction? Does that give you some understanding? Does that answer your question? If not, please clarify in your next comment and we'll do our best to help with that. Are there any other questions, comments, clarifications about what we talked about today? So our initial subject was, do you know any couples that do role playing with each other out in public? One pretends to be a doctor, the other one pretends to be a belly dancer. One pretends to be an astronaut, the other one pretends to be a clown entertainer, right? And then they meet each other in a public place and have a dialogue with one another and, mix it up. If you know of a couple like that, please send them my way. I would love to speak with them. Just tag them on this video. Also, for those of you who are getting value out of this video, please share it on your personal and professional social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, doesn't really matter. Give people an opportunity to benefit like you're benefiting. Geeta, well said, nice topic. See you soon. Yes, see you at the retreat. You're amazing. Hope you're doing well. What else? What else? Also, for those of you who are looking for healing, go to my website, ChristianRLong.com. I have 16 years of helping people go from where they are to where they want to be faster than they usually expect. So please let me know if I can help you with that. ChristianRLong.com. You can schedule your healing session right there on the website. Then Kim says, I didn't have sound for the first part. Do I have to rewatch it? Yes. When I end this stream in the next minute, it'll automatically and almost instantly upload, and then you can watch it from the beginning because the audio has been fine from the beginning. So Kim says, yes, my question was more about how to reopen the heart so the love can lubricate any friction. Don't know any role-playing couples. I've heard of couples that fight in light language so they don't get caught up in the words. I can't think of exactly but who, but that's a really cool idea to me. Right on. So one of the best things I can recommend for opening the heart, which I have 16 years of experience doing, is the Twin Hearts meditation. I don't know if you practice that at all or if you practice that every day. If you do practice it regularly and you want to amp it up to the next level, let me know. If you've never practiced it, just type in Twin Hearts meditation. It's on Google, it's on iTunes, it's on Google Play. You'll find it. If for some reason you're not able to find a copy of the Twin Hearts meditation, please let me know and I'll make sure you get a copy. And there's different versions of the Twin Hearts. There's a 3-minute version, there's a 15-minute version, there's a 20-minute version, which is the most common one. Then there's one for self-healing, for physical things. There's one for psychological healing, for emotional and mental disorders and ailments. There's one for good fortune, good karma. So there's many different Twin Hearts meditations that one can do. But that practice will help activate your heart chakra. Super, super important. Activating the heart, it's funny because I heard this for many, 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 many years, but it just went like this. That's the thing with spiritual truths. It's like, oh, it's so obvious. Right over my head. Oh, it's so obvious. Over my head again. Until eventually I grew up and instead of it going over my head, it kind of just bounced me in the forehead and I got a little bit of the energy. And I was like, aha, got it. So the secret is in the heart. The secret is in the heart. If you're looking to grow spiritually, the secret is in the heart. If you're looking to be more financially prosperous, the secret is in the heart. If you're looking to have more loving, harmonious relationships, the secret is in the heart. If you're looking to heal from past trauma, pains, hurts, and anger, the secret is in the heart. So that would be my number one, Jen, namaste, that would be my number one suggestion if you're looking to heal. If you're looking to heal the heart deeply and profoundly, and you're looking to activate the heart properly, the Twin Hearts meditation cannot recommend it enough. Now, are there other things that you can do? Yes. Can you get healing to accelerate that process? Absolutely. But if you're looking just for a quick, give it to me straight, Christian, what can I do to heal my heart and activate my heart and feel more love in my life? Twin Hearts meditation. Super, super easy, to the point. So Nada's saying, can we find them all online? No, they are not all online. Some you can get on United States, uspranichealing.com. You can order them directly. They're like $20 to $25. You can get most of them at that website, uspranichealing.com. Other versions of the Twin Hearts meditations are played or given out during our Hatha Yoga retreats or advanced courses to certain people for certain purposes. So most of them can be ordered directly at uspranichealing.com. Some of them can be downloaded from iTunes or Google Play, depending, but not all of them. Good question. Are there any other questions, comments, concerns you guys have about what we talked about for tonight? We covered 3 major topics. Basically, know any couples that do role-playing to keep their spark going, how to keep the spark going, how to activate the heart chakra and the love aspect within each and every one of us so we can heal and move our lives forward. And if you need healing, go to ChristianRLong.com. It's my name. Super easy. All right, guys. Well, thank you very, very much. Excuse me. Hope that didn't hurt your ears. A little congestion in my throat. And join us for tomorrow. Put this on your calendar. Put it on your calendar. Tomorrow, which is Sunday, at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. Tomorrow, Sunday, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, we're going to be doing the Twin Hearts meditation as a group with a healing as well. So the meditation is always free every single Sunday, and then we ask for a $25 donation for people who get healing because it requires a lot of energy and a lot of work. So that's from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Mountain Time tomorrow. If you want to get the link to that meditation and healing, message me on Facebook, direct message me on Facebook, and then I'll send you the link for tomorrow. And that's it. Super, super good. So that's an opportunity to open the heart, open the crown, to get healing, and to move forward. Love you guys very, very much. Have an amazing, phenomenal Saturday night. If there's anything else I can do, please let me know. Is there a link to access the meditation? Yes. Send me a direct message. I will send you the direct link. Love you guys. This is Christian Long, Life Enhancement Consultant, wishing you a beautiful day, a beautiful week, and a beautiful life. Atma, namaste. Bye-bye.